Echad, Hashem ben Hatorah, Haron Sodai, Yoreh al Hazafwan, Sefan Haron, Sheyoreh al Minotai, Israel light in our lives. Blessed be the Abba Father, for He is the Most High. Yahweh is His name. Blessed be the joy and praise. Blessed be the Abba Fathers, who gives us everything. Blessed be the joy and the worship, the things that are not in our lives. Blessed be the Abba Fathers, for He is the Most High, and Yahweh is His name. Hallelujah. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check. Hallelujah. Everybody, let's get ready to give praise to Yah. I know you might be full. I know you had a lot in your stomach. Settle down, get yourself ready. Pull out your Taf Miriam. If you have a little drum next to you, get it ready. Get your dancing feet together. We're about to praise Yah. Everybody that's back there talking, come up. I know I see a lot of little singers and dancers back there. Gather around and get ready. Don't sit down in that chair like you're not sure what to do. We know how to praise Yah. We come to teach. Slow it down, drummers. Not low, slow. Hold on, you come out. You're going to feel me and come in. Come out, you're going to feel me. Take it out. We come to teach the whole world of Yah, that Yah, He reigns and He is one. We come to help them understand, to trust in Yah and not in man. Tell the world that Yah has come. Wicked nations duck and run. Holy people face the east. On your knees and pray to Yah on high above. Show the Holy King some love. Make it known throughout the earth that Yah is one. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Rakata, Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, He is one. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, God is one. Take it down. Yes, we know the time has come. Serving these false gods is done. Change yourself from these evil ways. Serve one God, just give Yah praise. Tell the world that Yah has come. Wicked nations duck and run. Holy people face the east. On your knees and pray to Yah on high above. Show the Holy King some love. Make it known throughout the earth. Yah is one. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Rakata. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah, Hu Echad. Yahovah, Yahovah. up. Yes, Yah is one, and yes, Yah he reigns, and he alone, and Yah is one. No, yes, Yah is one, and yes, Yah he reigns, and he alone, and Yah is one. No, yes, Yah is one, and yes, Yah he reigns, and he alone, and Yah is one. Don't you be afraid to say that Yah he reigns on high, he does. Don't you be afraid to say that Yah he reigns alone, you know. Don't you be afraid to say that Yah he reigns on high, he does. Don't you be afraid to say that Yah he reigns alone, you know. Give praise to Yah. You wanna praise Jehovah, Jehovah, hello. We wanna praise Jehovah, 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 hello. We wanna praise Jehovah, 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 hello. We wanna praise. Take it down. Who we here to praise? Who is this day for? Who we here to praise? Who is this day for? Slow it down. One stick, slow it down. This is not for me. We standing here, but we come to praise Yah. La Yahovah, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, Shabbat, La Yahovah, Yom, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, Kavod, Yahovah, Kadosh, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, Yom, La Yahovah, Shabbat, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, give thanks, La Yahovah, give praise, La Yahovah. Shake your leg for Yah, stand and praise Yahovah, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, Kadosh, La Yahovah, Kavod, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, Yom, La Yahovah, Shabbat, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, give thanks to Yahovah, praise La Yahovah, La Yahovah, move your hips, La Yahovah, shake your leg, praise Yah, La Yahovah, Kadosh, La Yahovah, Kavod, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, don't be afraid, praise Yahovah, praise Yah, La Yahovah, Kavod, La Yahovah, Kadosh, La Yahovah, La Yahovah, give thanks to Yahovah, give praise to Yahovah, La Yahovah, move your hips, La Yahovah, shake your leg, give praise to Yah, La Yahovah, Kavod, La Yahovah, Kadosh, La Yahovah. You feel like praising whole shake.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Ani Oheka, ya Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. 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 Katatiya Aba Yeshli Kaim Ki Abiya Yahovah Rako Anizo Ek Wemetofe Leya Yahweh Ki Atayafe Ani Oheka Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. You gotta know the words by that. Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Gado, Gado, Ya Yehovah, Adonai, Adonai, Yehovah, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Ki Atayafa, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. One more time. Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Katatiya Aba Yeshli Kaim Ki Abiya Yahovah Rako Anizo Ek Wemetofe Leya Yahweh Ki Azaya Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. 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 Gado, Gado, Ya Yehovah, Adonai, Adonai, Yehovah, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Ki Atayafa, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai, Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Ani Oheka, Yehovah, Yehovah Adonai. Blessed be the name of Yah. Don't be afraid to praise Yah. Take it down, drummers. Take it down. Now listen up. You see how we feeling right now? We feeling like we want to go back home. We've been long away from the creator and maker of heaven and earth. We done strayed from our land for years. It's time to go back home. This here is the modern day Egypt. And we feel like getting up out of here. Go home! Go down, Moses, way, 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 down in Egypt's land. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Run it, drummers. Feel it, Israel. When Israel was in Egypt's land, people go. So hard they could not stand. Let my people leave Israel alone. Go down, go down. Moses way down in Egypt's land. Tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Thus said Yahweh, for Moshe said, let my people go. Come on! If not, I'll smite your firstborn dead. Let my people go. Leave Israel alone. Go down. Moses way down in Egypt's land. Tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Listen up! Yahweh told Moshe what to do. Let my people go. To lead the children of Israel through. Let my people go. Leave Israel alone. Go down. Moses way down in Egypt's land. Tell Pharaoh to let my people go. Yahweh told Moshe what to do. To lead the children of Israel through. Let my people go. What you want him to do? Go down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land. Tell
thank you, Father.
Hallelujah!
With all of my soul, serving you, my King, in the lives of my soul.
Come on, people, come on! Give it up, come on!
When I wake up in the morning, I get on my knees. Before I lay my head down, I pray for protection, please.
Where's your home?
He's the one that allows you to get up on your feet. So why don't you repay him by getting on your knees? Don't you be afraid to do what is right, cause that one thing you do can help you sleep through the night. I will thank you, Father.
Praise your home.
With all of my soul.
Come on, Israel. Put your hands together now. Come on.
In the lives of my soul.
Come on, Israel.
When I wake up in the morning, I get on my knees. Before I lay my head down,
Can you feel the music?
pray for protection, please. He's the one that allows you to get up on your feet. So why don't you repay him by getting on your knees? Don't you be afraid to do what is right. It's that one thing you do, help you sleep through the night.
Toda Yahuwah, Israel Hakoya,
Toda Yahuwah,
hallelujah,
Toda Yahuwah,
Toda Yahuwah,
Toda Yahuwah,
Toda Yahuwah,
Toda Yahuwah.
All right, come on now.
Toda Yahuwah,
When I say Toda Yahuwah,
Toda
I want to hear you say Toda Yahuwah. Come on.
Toda Yahuwah,
Toda Toda Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
On this side, come on now, what?
Toda Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Toda Yahovah.
We thank you, Yah, for everything.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le Yahovah.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le HaShabbat.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le HaAm Hazeh.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le HaTafim Gam.
Toda Yahovah.
Toda le Yahovah.
Toda 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 Yahovah.
Toda. For everything. All right. Stop. I'm the bad guy, blame me, I don't care. Rule up. All right, stop. All right. I'm gonna ask y'all now, just go back to your seats. We have a program for today. We're going to get it on today. Well, I want to be the bad guy to shut that down. Oh, boo me, I don't care. Go ahead, let's get back to the seats. Come on. We're about to get this session started, man. Come on. Hallelujah! 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 I always wanted to take the mic from Shane. I always wanted to do that. By the way, he's falling off on the timbales. Check his son out.
Your son out the singer. No boy. Yeah.
Hold up. Leave that space.
Fish. Avish.
Hurry up.
Bring out the mic. Drum neck.
Okay, everybody. Now that we're nice and warm, that my zone done settled down now. I see Israel, everybody's eyes wide open, bright, ready to praise Yah. This is how we should be when we come to praise Yah. We should look alive like we just did. At this time, we're going to put our hands together and welcome the Hebrew family of Charlotte Sisterhood, who's going to come up for us. Make some noise. Are they supposed to be coming up here, Cohen? They're supposed to be coming up front. Come on up now. Where are they? Oh, they getting ready? Okay. In the meantime,
Do something.
I'm going to do something for you. We understand who we here to serve and praise. Yah is great, man. He's merciful. And we, time after time, don't give him the glory that's due to his name. Be'emet Yahoah Kadosh, La Yahoah Tein Kavod, Malkeinu Yahoah Hu Echad, Ezreinu Yahoah Gadol, Adba Yahoah Hine Yisrael, Ameka Yahoah Tishmana, Zadik Yahoah Bikana Amin, Tein Lanu Rakameka, Abba Yahoah Todalaka, Anaknu Pole Hayom. Just giving a little glory to Yah. Letting the Creator know that because of Him, we're here today. Because of Yah, we are here today. We cannot forget who Yah is. Let us welcome and get ready. What? Shut the music down, they're not ready yet? We have to give them a chance. You know how the sisters are, they like to beautify themselves. Somebody, I'm sure, have a mirror out there. They checking their makeup. Somebody's checking their ears to make sure everything is right. Just as I said, fixing a dress. When they come in, they're going to be right. So don't worry. Let's give them the time that they need. They ready there now? Not yet. Person at the back of the line is still checking. They ready now. All right now. Yes.
Yeah.
Fine and divine. Beautiful, beautiful. Give them another round of applause, Israel. That's how we should look when we come out. All right now, this brother here needs no introduction, but I'm gonna still introduce him. This brother here, full of energy and praise, loves to come out and glorify the name of Yah. And this is how we should all feel when we come out to praise Yah. Be full of energy, excited and happy to glorify the name of Yah. Let us give a warm welcome to our brother Ak Yirmiyahu. Come on up.
Hallelujah. The Most High, He is so good to us all. I thank Yah for all His great mercies, His great compassion, everything that He's doing for us. I'm praying that we will continue to find Yah in our heart as we see Yah in one another. We continue to show love to one another. We need each other. And Yah's going to support our cause as long as we support each other in positivity and do what's good and what's right before Him. I thank Yah He allowed me to go to the land a little less than a month and a half ago. Had my imam with me, my Isha, and it was just a beautiful experience led by our brother Uzziah. So I was going to do my piece. I love my family because I do love my family. But I took it to the land. I took it to the land. Can I get a few drummers up here? Matia. Let's take it there. We're going to glorify the Creator today. Yes. I'm going to sing before the Father. Yeah, Shoutil, Matia, somebody. No. Can't get the bass. What's it, Matia? Huh? He's gone. So, let's go. We're going to take it to the land. Wish I would get that bass. Play these runners. You got the second bass? All right, let's go. Let's start a beat. Take it to me. Yeah. You got something? Hallelujah. This song is dedicated to everybody who want to see the Holy Land of Yisrael. I was singing about it all my life, and Yah allowed me to make it there. And I give thanks to Yehovah. Because we know if it wasn't for Yah, where would we be? Hallelujah. If it wasn't for Yehovah who was on our side, may Yisrael say amen. If it wasn't for Yehovah who was on our side, may Yisrael say amen. Yehovah, 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 He's Yehovah, 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 Yehovah. Let's take it to the land where my fathers dwell, my fathers dwell. Yehovah, please take me to the land where my fathers dwell, my fathers dwell. Yehovah, by the rivers of Babylon, we sat down and we cried, Yehovah. Think about Jerusalem, we cry for Yehovah. By the rivers of Babylon, we sat down and we cried, Yehovah. Think about Jerusalem, we cry for Yehovah. He's Yehovah, 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 Yehovah. He's Melech Yehovah, my King Yehovah, Yehovah, Yehovah. let's take it to the land where my fathers dwell, my fathers dwell. Yahweh, please take me to that land, to the land where my fathers dwell, my fathers dwell. Yahweh, by the rivers of Babylon, sat down and we cry, Yahweh. Think about Jerusalem, we cry for Yahweh. By the rivers of Babylon, we sat down and we cry, Yahweh. Think about Jerusalem, we cry for Yahweh. He's Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. He's Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yeah, let's praise. Let's take it to the land where my fathers live, Yahweh, please take me to that land, to the land where my fathers live, Yahweh. By the rivers of Babylon, we sat down and we cried, Yahweh. Think about Jerusalem, we cried for Yahweh. By the rivers of Babylon, sat down and we cried, Yahweh. Think about Jerusalem, we cried for Yahweh. He's Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. He's Melech Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Preacher, a song of praise, a song of dance, a song of redemption. We have another chance to live our life, a righteous life. Each one, love one, that's what life is like. We need to feed the poor, take care of our brothers. Yes, indeed, I will achieve. I cannot fail. With Yah on my side, I will prevail. To Mount Zion, we marching now. Every tongue shall swear and every knee shall bow. The time is now, won't tell no lie. Raise my hands to the sky, praising El Shaddai. Sometimes I cry, meditate and pray. Man's life is like grass that wither away. But we here today, and his name is strong. Sing to the Most High, Yah, a new song, a song of hope. I love my brothers, a song of joy. I love my sisters, a song for Yah. I love my family, I love my family, I love my family, a song of hope. I love my brothers, a song of joy. I love my sisters, a song for Yah. I love my family, I love my family, I love my family, a song of hope, a song of love, a song to the Most High Yah above, who gives me strength. The things I know, hold do, la Yehoah, Kile, Olam, Kasto, Baruch Yehoah, Adonai, Abotenu, Salak, Lanu, Anaya, Hoshienu. Save us from myself, save us from the pride, save us from the arrogance, save us from the pride. Every day I strive to be the best I can, and mom, my brother's keeper. Yes, to stand on his 2 feet, you must stand, and mom, my brother's keeper. Yes, said every day I strive to be the best I can, and mom, my sister's keeper. Yes, to live by his law is my goal and plan, and my sister's keeper. Yes, it's a song of hope. I love my brothers, a song of joy. I love my sisters, a song for Yah. I love my family, I love my family, I love my family, a song of hope. Yes, I love my brothers, a song of joy. We love our sisters, a song for Yah. I love my family, I love my family, my Israelite family.
That's what I'm talking about. Energy for Yah. Now we're going to ask the drummers to come up. Chief Uzael, Ravak Bushak.
That's it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Blessed be the mighty Yah, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We thank him for this day. We thank him for unity. We thank him for love, for the unity of brothers and sisters, everybody from far and near that's here. We thank the Most High God for your lives. So now, Konzado asked me to come up here and give a little history about the drumming. I don't know why they asked me if they got so many historians about drumming, you know, but before we do that, I'm going to call up Rabbi Baruch and Cohen Shake Me out to come up here and sing Reishi Da'at. Reishi Da'at, right? Hakma. I said Reishi Da'at. That's my first Hebrew book. Reishi Da'at. All right, so the history of drumming. As we know it today in Yisrael, I first got to start off by saying that in Ben Azakin, there was a brother by the name of Daniel Ben Zavulun. I don't know if any one of y'all ever heard of him, but he played, this was in the 1960s. Now, Ben Azakin didn't actually play drums during services, but Daniel Ben Zavulun was a drummer who played on with Richie Havens. He played with Stevie Wonder and also Patti LaBelle on Lady Marmalade, I believe. He played on that record. In fact, Prince Orisha, I drove him to that session, and he said he got paid $500 to do that day. So that's part of the history, and he was a drummer. But the history as we know it starts off in Shabbat Yisrael, I believe on Belmont Avenue with Prince Paul Ben Zavulun. So he comes into service. Maury Mishael, he works with Maury Mishael. Maury Mishael brings him to service, and Cohen Levy's up there teaching, speaking, and he tells Cohen, he said, hey, you know, I could play the drums. So Cohen Levy tells him, well, bring the drums and play them. He said, well, am I going to play them by myself? He said, well, I teach by myself. So you got to play the drums by yourself. So the next week he brings his congas, and the way he learned how to play drums was he lived upstairs from the Colon family. Now the Colon family was a bunch of Puerto Ricans, and they had a band. If you know about the 60s, it was salsa bands. So he would hear all these sounds coming upstairs, and him and the Colon family, the sons and the kids, will go downstairs and play around with the instruments, with the drums, and all these things. So the rhythm was in him already. So by the time he came to Shabbat Yisrael, he had that flavor. The flavor that we play, or the style that we play, is more of a Latin, Cuban, Afro-Cuban style. That's why you hear sounds like guaguancó, you hear rumba, you hear all these different type of sounds. A lot of these kids might not know the patterns of the sounds that they hear, but these are the names of it. They call it tum 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 boom. They understand that. Play the tum 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 tum. They understand that. But these things actually, these patterns actually have name. So when we take it through Prince Paul, then you get a group of drummers. You get brothers like Yashadai and Mikaya and all these different brothers that we knew as the old Hashaba drummers. We knew them as that. Notadia and all these, Shemuel, I don't know if he's here right now, but all of these were the brothers that started playing. After that, you get a group of young brothers. You get like Ariel, you get Ashriel, your brother, and you get Cohen Zadok. They start to admire Prince Paul and all these drummers, and of course they start, after getting kicked off the drums for many years, they get the drums flipped upside down on them, getting beat, getting all types of stuff. But because you're around the drums, you pick up the drums. And we know that with all of our children. Any of y'all ever had your child playing drums on the kitchen table? Raise up your hands. Pots and pans? All right. What about if you, if they go to school, the teacher ever complained that the kid is playing drums on the desk? All right, so it's part of their rhythm, and that's how they learn. People sometimes ask us, they say, well, where did they learn it? Did you teach them? Nah, they kind of picked it up, and that's just how it goes. Rabbi Baruch don't play drums, but his son is one of the best young players that I've seen. So he just picked it up. So we, from that, we get the young drummers, and what we knew as the new Hashava drummers, but now y'all call them the old Hashava drummers. I don't know how they became old, but they known as the old Hashava drummers now. But these were the brothers that I remember. That was Cohen Zadok, Cohen Shapmia, Natia, Zakar, Shemaiah, Aquedmiel. Then you get the little youngins coming, the strap-alongs. You get Mekubadia, you get Otanu, you get Arania, Akumlea, the Yohannesar. You get all these young guys coming along, and they went to Amateur Night of the Apollo, and they won 3 times. And then the 4th time, their cousin came up and was rapping and took them out. But we thank the Most High God that He's given us this form of praise, and that the Most High God even bless a man like Prince Poor to come around and be able to bring it forth and introduce it to Yisrael. So at this time, we ready? So we're going to have an honorary drummer. This is the uncle of Cohen Zadok. We're going to call up to the stage our honorary drummer, Mr. Ronald Prescott. He's going to come up and drum with the drummers. This is actually the man who taught Cohen Zadok a lot of the patterns and a lot of the things that he know about drumming. Oh, and how can we forget? I knew I was forgetting somebody. How can we forget? Where my sister at? You know who I'm talking about. Where you at? There you go. The top Miriam master. She was there with y'all at the Apollo, right? Kokavia, Bat, Moray Hosea, Ben Levin. Aquedmiel, we said Aquedmiel, but he ain't here, so we can't call him up. Who? Who's he? He got suspended and never came back, got mad. Come on, Kokavia, we need you up here. Now you see the young drummers on the side, they waiting. They waiting, they just lurking, look at them. They hungry, they just waiting. They waiting to take some of these old guys off the drum. They waiting, but we got something for y'all. Y'all better show and prove too, because Cohen Zadok letting y'all get open, all right? We gonna let Uncle Ronald put his drum on.
All right now, if you've ever been to the Hebrew family of Charlotte, in one of our praise sessions, I want you to say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Now we always start off by saying that the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Most High, right? Come on, trumpets. We're going to start out with our favorite. If you know it, I want you to not just stand up, I want you to get up off your seat. Because this is the jam of all jams. You understand? So I want you to repeat after me. And I want you to repeat after me. We're going to tear it up. Say, where is she? Get it up. Where is she? Get it up. All right now. I feel the energy, but I want some more. We're saying, Rashi Kaka Yira. Yeah. All right? Come on. Rashi Yira. Rashi Yira. Rashi Yira. Rashi Yira. Come on. Rashi Yira. Come on. Rashi. Come on. Come on. Reishi Kama Yira Yahuwah. Come on. I want that energy. One more time. Reishi Kama Yira Yahuwah. Come on. We got to get it back now. Come on. Reishi Kama Yira Yahuwah. Bring the drums down. Give me that mic. Bring them drums down. Y'all ready to hear some drumming now? Y'all ready to get hype? Y'all ready to get hype? Y'all ready to get hype? I can't hear y'all. I can't hear y'all. I can't hear y'all. All right, here we go. We are the Israelite. The mighty, mighty Israelite. Now everywhere we go, down, bring it down, bring it down. Y'all ready to praise the Most High? Y'all ready to praise, y'all? Y'all ready to praise? All right, here we go. All right, we're gonna let them play. Hey, you ready? You ready? You ready? All right, here we go. We got gospel peace, gospel war, but you never heard guns like these before. Gospel peace, gospel war, but you never seen guns like these before. This is your town. This is your town. They're all coming after you. They're all coming after you. They're all coming after you. This is your town. Young gunners. We got guns for peace, guns for war, but you never seen guns like these before. So we're going to see what he got in North Carolina. All the old bank cards on up. Put your signature on it. Here we go. We got guns for peace, guns for war, but you never heard guns like these before. You on this one? Alright, we got young Yehu. We got guns for peace, guns for war, but you never heard guns like these before. tamales. You don't want to play? Tamales. You don't want to play tamales? Let's get on the tamales real quick. You ready? You ready? Here we go. We got guns for peace, guns for wars. Never heard guns like these before. For peace, guns for war. Never heard guns like these before. You ready? We got guns for peace, guns.
Get back in your seat. Go back. Okay, we have a program. 1, 2, 3. All right, get back in your seats. Y'all having too much fun. Get back, all of y'all, get back in your seats. All right. That was beautiful, but get back in your seats.
Hallelujah. 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 Praise Yah. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. So we came here to praise the Most High. And that we are doing thus far. But we know that we have much more energy within us to continue on. Sometimes even though you pick the longest Shabbat in the year, it's still not enough time to praise the Most High. So we ask that our praise to Him will be accepted at this time. Hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves thus far this day. Once again, I want to thank the Hebrew family of Charlotte for the work that they put in. Everybody's full. Y'all got food to eat.
enjoyed themselves. I always tell people, you know, Charlotte, they raised the bar when it comes to Unity Shop Tote. In terms of hospitality, how they take care of people and make sure everybody's good. Charlotte raises the bar. I mean, y'all even got salmon today. Salmon, you know how much salmon costs per pound? What are the communities giving y'all salmon for lunch? So we thank the Most High God for putting it within them to host this event the way that they do. But the fun does not stop there. 3 weeks from now, you have an option. You could be in Philadelphia for Beit El's anniversary, or be in Cincinnati for the conference. But make sure that you're somewhere. If you want to keep this going, make sure that you're somewhere. Also, and I gotta mention Gregorian calendar months because that's what we're used to. The first weekend in August, to be the Israelite convention in Atlanta, hosted by Rav Shalom, who's here this day. Then somewhere around the first week of September, House of Israel will have another conference in Cincinnati. Then somewhere near the end of October, in Chicago, Rabbi Fune's congregation will have their anniversary. Somewhere second week of November, it'll be Tennessee. That happens every year. See, some of these things, these are not new events. These are annual events, just to let everybody know that Israel has been doing these things for a very long time. It's just that now we have the opportunity to hear about it from other people. But these are events that we're talking about are 10 plus years in the making. So somewhere around, because it gets cold, so nobody wants to go anywhere. So the winter months, y'all can, you know, relax yourselves. I believe Ben Yadad may be doing a youth Shabbat somewhere around there. Or end of November, youth Shabbat, right before it gets cold. So now when it gets cold, we can relax, you can stay home. Then come the first week of March, I believe the Phenomenal Israelite Women will have their next conference. I believe they're doing it in New Jersey this year. In New Jersey. Then we got Pesach, Feast of Unleavened Bread, everything. So everybody, yeah, y'all should clap for that because that's, that one, see that, Pesach, Feast of Unleavened Bread, that was called by the Most High. So y'all can clap for that one. There's somewhere, they keep yelling at, I'm going down the calendar. Somewhere around the second week of May would be the Israelite Men's Retreat. It won't be where it was this year. So the accommodations will be better for the people that had a problem with the accommodations that they had the last time. I didn't have a problem with my accommodations, but there's some people that have problems with their accommodations. So this time it's going to be more suitable for everybody else at the same time. So look for that the second week of May. Then towards the end of May, we'll have Qum once again. Many people came up to New York City. That's hosted by Beit Al-Chakma Ubina. So there'll be another Qum. That would be around Memorial Day weekend once again. Then rounding it off to the end of June next year, just like it was last week, there'll be another commemorative weekend for Rabbi Matthew, which will take place somewhere in New York, probably where the committee decides to have that. So the fun never ends. There's always something you can go to. So when this is over, hopefully you'll be filled with that spirit to continue to move forward. And as I mentioned, you know, Charlotte always raises the bar. So everybody else that's hosting something, y'all see what's going on? People want their salmon. I mean, I got my falafel. Shout out to whoever got the falafel together. May the Most High bless them with the tahini sauce that they put on it. So at this time, as we move along with our program and giving praise to the Most High, we call up another young sister who will deliver us a message this day. And hopefully everybody's been listening to the messages that have been brought forth this day. And at this time, we call up Leah. Out of Atlanta, Georgia.
First of all, giving all honor and praise to y'all for allowing me to be here today, for all your lives, for the lives of my family, my Ima who was working it out there. Did I see her? She was working it. Sisterhood, y'all did amazing. I'm honored to be here today to talk about something that is so important to me, and I hope it's as important to you as when I'm done with this topic. All right. So, I greet you all in peace. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom. So I'm going to speak about rebuilding our nation, because we talk about that all the time. It's been the topic for every speaker today. We've been talking about how to rebuild this nation, how to get to our youth. And I'm kind of going to combine all of those things together to talk about something that we don't really talk about. So we're going to have a family meeting. Y'all ready for this family meeting? Y'all know y'all have a house meeting when your family get together and y'all talk about how things are working and what y'all can work on and who's doing the dishes and who ain't doing the dishes and all of that stuff. So we're going to do that right now. It's going to be good. We're going to have some things to work on, and there's some things that we're doing great. I don't want to pretend like I'm an expert because I'm 29 and I just got married 2 months ago, so no children, so I can't pretend like I'm an expert on all things, right? Because there's elders here that know more than I would ever know about families and children. But I think our generation has a little bit to offer because we've seen some things, right? And we've experienced some things growing up and being a part of this culture and community. And I'm happy to be able to share my knowledge that I've gained over the years. So today we're going to talk about rebuilding the nation. And specifically, we're going to be talking about reversing the effects of post-traumatic slave disorder in the captivity. So this is a hard topic because we like to think that the world out there, they experience all of this negativity and bad experiences, and they're being murdered and stalked by the police, but we don't really think about the fact that we go through some stuff too, and we brought that stuff into this culture with us, right? We experienced, some of us who weren't born in this culture, we had lives and experiences that we brought in with us, and those experiences we take with us when we go into relationships and when we deal with one another and try to progress and grow this nation and go into leadership. We take those experiences with us. So we're going to try to work on how to remedy some of these things. So I'm going to have Eliel, somewhere. Oh, here he is. He's going to read something into your hearing, and I just want you to really, this is going to be a little, not graphic, but it's a little much, but I think that the people who understand and need to hear it is going to be important. They're going to hear it. All right, you can go to the first slide. I want you to really listen, and I'm pretty sure some of you have heard this before.
Okay, everyone, just excuse my language. She said it's graphic, so I have to be ready. We breed 2 nigger males with 2 nigger females. Then we take the nigger males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say one nigger female bears a nigger female, and the other bears a nigger male. Both nigger females being without influence of the nigger male image, frozen with an independent psychology, will raise their offspring into reverse positions. The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself, independent and negotiable. We negotiate with her, through her, by her. We negotiate with her at will. The one with the nigger male offspring, she being frozen with a subconscious fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now in a few years, when these 2 offsprings become fertile and for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning.
Did y'all see what they did to us? This was a strategic attack on the family structure. Whatever. Very strategic. Wasn't haphazardly done, right? They specifically targeted the family to break up relationships because they knew that it would affect us long term, not just in the short term, but generations would be affected, right? So let me just give you a little bit about myself and my background. Why am I bringing up this topic? Why is it so important to me? Well, I grew up in Shabbat Israel, raised in New York. I moved to Atlanta after receiving my master's degree in social work, and I've been practicing therapy, individual and family counseling for about 5 years after receiving my master's. And it was so important to me to bring this topic to our community because we forget that we've been affected too, right? We brought a lot of these experiences from slavery with us when we came into this culture. And so the captivity has really done some serious damage. We can all agree on that, right? So let's talk about some of the things that it's done to us. Tell me some of the things that hell has done to us.
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. Tell me some other things. I know y'all know.
Ego.
Ego, big ego. What else?
Racism.
Racism. Arrogance. Mental illness. What else? Violence. Narcissistic. What else? What was that? Absent male home. What was that? Homosexuality. What else? Anti-Yah syndrome. What about rape? What about incest? What about sexual harassment? What about abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse? See, sometimes we don't talk about the little things, right? We talk about the big things. Somebody was sexually abused, but sometimes it's just like your daddy wasn't there and your mom wasn't there. And you don't have those experiences, so when you come into this culture, it's foreign to have to deal with women. To have relationships with women, not to just say shalom, but to develop a relationship with a woman that you've never had a woman in your home. Or develop relationships with men when you've never had a male in your home. How does that affect us? Right? That's a big deal. The way that we deal with each other is a big deal, and it stems from what therapists like me call trauma, right? But everybody thinks like trauma, like I'm not traumatized. Right? But sometimes trauma is just not a huge thing that happens to you. Sometimes it's a small thing that happens to you. So we can go to the next slide. So these are some of the major things that we talk about when we talk about experiences in hell and the captivity, right? These big things. But we can compare it to something small. Just imagine yourself in a car and you're driving on the highway. And you're going the speed limit and you're following all the rules, and some maniac comes out of nowhere into your lane, swerves into your car swerves into the median, flips over, goes onto the other side, and gets hit by another car. Right? Now you come out fine. You have a scratch, no bruises, you're good. You go to the hospital, they say you're fine, go ahead, get your insurance ready because they're going to take care of it all. And then you go get a new car and you're ready to go to work the next day. Right? Maybe a week. You give yourself a week. But the next time you get in your car, what are you thinking about? You're traumatized, right? Now, you ain't gonna go now. Some people deal with trauma differently. Some people might be like, well, I'm gonna make sure now I watch where I'm going. And some people might have a panic attack when they get into that car. A horn can trigger that, right? So now let's talk about relationships. Now you grew up in a family where you were abused and you were verbally abused. And that sound of yelling irritates you. It triggers you. And now you got to deal with some sister that raised her voice a little bit at you. And you get triggered. And now they're like, well, what's wrong with her? Dang, all I said was. But you don't realize that you brought some experience in here with you. And then the brother who grew up in a home where he was physically abused and his manhood was challenged. And now you have leadership saying, this is what you're gonna do. And they're like, I ain't gotta do that, I'm gonna start my own community. And then I'm gonna be the one to tell people what they should and shouldn't do. See, it affects us long term, right? Not just in the short term, but generations do that. It's rooted and long lasting. So I'm going to talk about some of the effects and then how we can overcome some of these things. So we've been handicapped for a few years. We've been experiencing relationships. When you have experience and you brought some trauma or experience or abuse and neglect with you into this culture and you walked in, prayer doesn't always fix that, right? Prayer doesn't always fix it, and knowing the law doesn't always fix that. Shabbat service doesn't fix it. Sometimes you gotta go get some professional help to fix it. And it's hard to think that because you say, I'm not traumatized, right? I'm not traumatized. All I did was drive in my car and some maniac came out of nowhere. But you have been a little bit affected by it. And it does affect the way that you relate to other people. And sometimes those effects can be physical. They've related trauma and sometimes minor trauma and major trauma to cardiovascular disease, trouble with sleeping, face issues, your skin. I can't solve. Substance abuse, right? Trying to bring down those feelings of anxiety. And then we have some emotional effects, right? You have self-esteem issues that come, anxiety, flashbacks. You can't regulate your hormones, so when somebody just irks you just a little bit, you snap, right? Or when you're having a bad day, instead of saying, you know what, I'm not really feeling it today, I think I'm just gonna let this sister know, hey, I'm just having a bad day. Instead, as soon as she says shalom, you like, shalom, whatever. And she think it's her, that she did something, or he did something, when really it's just you. And it's hard to admit that, like, I'm having a bad day. It doesn't have to do with anyone else. I was triggered. So some of the ways that it affects our community is that we have relationships sometimes when we're courting people. It affects the way we court people. It affects the way our relationships go when we're married, right? Then all of a sudden we're arguing a lot because you get with someone who has some trauma and you got some trauma too, and then y'all come together and y'all have children. And your children see it. And we like to think that they don't see it, right? But they do. They see when you're with your wife and you're arguing. And they see when your wife is with you and she doesn't respect you. They see when you're with her and you don't respect her. They see when you're with her and you go behind her back to talk to someone else. They see it. They don't talk about it, but they see it and they learn because it's learned behavior. They see the way that you talk to your brothers, the way you relate to one another. So when you're angry at the children in the community because of the way that they're arguing, and the girls who are bickering on Facebook, social media, or just in the community, you have to wonder what are they seeing that's promoting this, that they're not talking about, that they're saying, that's the way you do it, because my Ima did it that way, my Abba did it that way, and his wife did it that way. And so we have to be careful about how we relate to one another, and we have to remedy that because the children are watching us. They're watching the way that we get married. They're watching the way that we get remarried. They're watching the way that we court. They're watching the way the women bicker. They're watching that. They're watching the way the second wife relates to the first wife. They're watching that. They're watching the way that he relates to both of them. They're watching the way that you court and relate and take care of your family. And they're molding themselves after you. That's a lot of pressure to think about. You are in control of the next generation's point of view, about the world, about how they relate to people. So that's a lot. So I want to talk about how we're going to remedy this. I'm going to go to the next slide, because I'm not going to be up too much longer. So as we know, everything starts with the individual, right? You have to work on you first before you can fix this nation. And we can't just believe that, oh, we're going to pray and read the Psalms and it's all going to be okay. We got to be realistic, right? Because if we continue the same cycle, the children will grow up and repeat the same cycle. cycle, they will have broken homes, and we will never remedy what the attack was on our family. Because the attack on the family was an attack on the nation. If they attack the family, you break up everything, all the structure that makes up a nation. And that's why this slide exists. It's showing the build-up of what a nation is. It starts with an individual. And this is the thing that you can do to understand yourself a little bit better and work on yourself, so that we can work on the next generation, so that our relationships and our marriages are successful. Because unfortunately, I grew up in Shabbat Israel, and most of the elders that I knew and loved are divorced. They're not married anymore. I can't think of very many that are still married from when I was a child. And that's hard to think about, because now my cousins who are growing up, they're watching me. Will I be divorced by the time they're ready to get married? No. We gotta be serious about it, because that's reality. How are we expected? I know it's a touchy topic. We talk about plural marriage, but marriage is marriage. And if you can't fix a single marriage, you can't fix a plural marriage, we got to start with the individual. Because the individual can fix and remedy relationships, so that you can have successful relationships with women, so that they're not a threat to you because you're secure. And you can have confidence in yourself to lead, so that you don't have to sneak. So let's talk about self-care, counseling. We like to think that our leadership does a great job in counseling, and I know they do, but sometimes we need professional help, because our leadership are not always trained to deal with mental health, substance abuse, physical abuse. They're not always trained in that. So it's okay to say, you know what, I'm gonna go out and get some professional help. Interpersonal skills we gotta work on. We gotta work on knowing our triggers, to know ourselves, to know when we're having a bad day, and to know how to communicate that before someone just thinks it's them. They're the reason why you're getting the attitude today. To be able to say, you know what, I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know, today I'm just not feeling it. And they'll be respectful of that. To be able to communicate that, so that people are not in the dark, that they understand that you need the space. To know your past and your history is important. Once you get yourself together, you gotta focus on your house, your family. Because we like to tell people what to do in their house. But in our houses, what are our children seeing, and what are we doing with our families? It's very important. Counseling, I'm always gonna say it, is important. Premarital counseling is super important. I can't tell you the benefit that premarital counseling has had on my relationship with my Ish, who looking so good back there. It's important because you get to weed out some of the things that you think could have happened when you got married. Create a standard in your house. It's important. Whatever the standard is in your house, you have to maintain that, but you have to have one first. And start talking about and modeling interpersonal skills at home with your children. How do they relate to other girls in the community? How do they relate to people at school? How are your boys going to approach girls? How are your girls going to approach boys? This is important. And you have to talk about the standard. What is the age in which that happens? For your house. And once you get that together, then we can focus on each community, right? Then we can talk about what the community standards are. A standard for counseling. Because I'm always going to advocate for counseling. Standards for courting and dating. Interpersonal skills. And key point, not sweeping trauma under the rug. Like, when things happen, serious things, like, let's use real life situations. Someone's married and their spouse cheats on them, or it's known that there's some, infidelity going on. How are we dealing with that? Do we just pretend like it doesn't exist? The new Ishai comes along and everybody's like, all right, well, move along with this, How are we dealing with it in the community? Because the children watching, and they're saying, if she could do it, and she can wiggle her way in, no standard, no protocol, just wiggle yourself in, then I can do it. And the brothers and the sons are watching and saying, if he did it and he just brought another woman, no standard, no protocol, I could do it too. And just like the previous speakers have said, the children model themselves after that, and they want to do what they believe is right. And lastly, encourage our youth in the nation building. Once we get our communities, our families, and our individual selves together, building institutions that encourage our children to go to school, not to be like me, but we need carpenters, and we need, electricians, just like we need lawyers, doctors, and therapists. So when your children go to school, we talk about institutions, talk about schools and stuff, we need teachers, but teachers that can teach our children, and lawyers that can deal with our cases, and therapists who can give counseling to our families, because we're the ones who understand our culture. Encourage professional degrees. You don't have to say, well, I ain't gonna get no debt. That's good, it might be good for you, and maybe we do need a carpenter, but we do need a therapist too, and we do need a lawyer. And then encourage your youth to participate in programs and community events like this. When we have events like this, and you go to Chicago and you go to Cincinnati and all of those places, bring your children, bring your teenagers, because they need to see that there are other teenagers like them in other places, and they don't need to stay in their community. And back to the point that my last point, reiterating, do not sweep trauma under the rug in the nation. When you know that there are things that are going on, we need to have a standard on how to deal with that so the next generation doesn't repeat that. When you have perpetrators living among you, it makes it really difficult for people who have trauma, because they're triggered. So we gotta be honest. What was that, Hodiah?
Show the love.
Show the love. Speak the truth. Hallelujah.
She's a little short, so I just need to raise this up some.
You wouldn't need to raise it up anyway.
Excuse me. Great job, Leah. Let's give her another round of applause. That's what we need to hear. She hit a lot of key points, especially on the trauma. I just hope no one here is traumatized by these drums. If you are, we're going to ask you to kindly leave, because you'll be traumatized all day. We're going to be giving praise up in here. Let us welcome our brother, Asael Ben Shimon, who's going to come up here and give praise to Yah like everyone else has been. Some of us through words to motivate and inspire us here, to strengthen us in the path of righteousness. We've had singers up here singing. This whole day is about giving praise to Yah. This is Yah's day. And we have to understand everything that's taking place is about giving glory to his name. So where is Asael? Is he in the house here? Asael Ben Shimon? He's coming? Here he comes. But we have to understand one thing. When you leave here, the objective is to re-energize you. The objective is for you to leave here with a stronger and a closer spirit to Yah, to build your connection with the creator and maker of heaven and earth. That's what these events should be built for us to come together, speak to one another, use that next person's words to motivate you, to inspire you, to strengthen you in the path of the creator and maker of heaven and earth. None of us should leave events like this broken. And this is the beauty of what we've been seeing so far, the new pattern and a new trend. Israel coming together, and when we leave, we're strengthened and not weakened. No bickering, no confusion, no fighting, no talking back behind one another's back and talking one another's names. This is the change that we're making today. We're about strengthening and building one another's spirits. And this is how we have to see events like this. Every time you come with a positive mind. Every time you think about speaking to another brother or sister, think about it with a positive mind. Azriel? We call him Azriel. Where is he? I know I saw him back there somewhere. There he goes. Come up, brother. This brother here, man, this brother have a special place in my heart, man. He and I, the first time I met him, we just bonded right away. He know what I'm talking about. Let us welcome Azriel.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Giving all honor and praise unto Yahweh Elohim, power of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. Hallelujah. Opa'am. Shabbat Shalom Lekem. Giving due respects to all the elders, the leadership, the family out here in Charlotte, to all of my brothers and sisters. I greet you all with a blessing. Yibareka Yehovah wa Yishmareka. We know the psalm said that neither do they bless each other in the name of Yah. So, in trying to get back to the way that we did things, if you read through the scriptures, you will see that when our fathers would meet up with each other, they would bless each other in the name of Yah. Some places they would say that they saluted each other, but the salute was a blessing. So I salute you all with the blessing of Yah. Real quick, the brother who called me up, my brother Eliel, I gotta say this real quick. He's the reason, he's one of the main reasons that made me question my quote-unquote tribal status. For a long time, for a lot of people who know me, I always was like, I'm Naphtali. Got goodly words. I thought I spoke pretty good. Made sense to me. I don't know. I was trying to find myself. I didn't grow up with my Abba, my biological father, so I never had a connection younger to know where I came from, so to say. But it was something that happened to me, and I won't go long into that, but it made me begin to question. I kept seeing Lewi and things were happening, and he was a brother that I was around at the time. We were drumming actually on the train. That's actually one of the first times I met him. And I'd asked him, I said, you know, I keep seeing this Lewi keep crossing my head, and I keep seeing it in Hebrew, English, I keep hearing stuff. He was like, oh, what's your Abba? I was like, I don't know. And then I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute, I do know my Abba, and when I reconnected with my Abba, he actually used to, everybody that was around him, his friends, used to call him Levi. So it made me actually put it together, like, wait a minute, let me talk to him and see what he said. So I thank the Most High for finally showing me the direction that I should go, but I always say that he was the brother who made me question it. So it's a blessing that he kind of brought up some things that just made me, just a good feeling, just keeping with the positive vibes, that's all. I was asked to speak for a few minutes, and the direction that I was given made me kept me like a little, had me not baffled, but because I didn't have a lot of time to really think about it and go through a whole lot. But the direction that I want to go is being considerate of what I heard the sister before me speak about to an extent, which is counsel. And there's a lot of scriptures that I kind of try to speedily go through to try to get a feeling of the direction that I would go to. And I even spoke to a brother to just feel it out. And it led me to the book of Eob. And for all you that I'm not sure. Eob is Job. And it led me to the speech of the young man who, throughout the chapters, you don't realize he's there until about the 32nd chapter. You hear about his 3 friends who spoke with him, and they conversed with him, and they tried to counsel him, and they got on his case and did all these things, and he went back and forth with them, and they dropped a lot of secrets in the scriptures in their age and in their wisdom, but they weren't correct for him. They were correct in a lot of the information that they brought forth because of their age and because of their time and experience and their studies. We see even Job said, listen, you guys are not much smarter than me. Like, I know what you know. You know what I mean? Like, because they were all elderly men. But as you listen, or as you get to the point where Elihu shows up, and if you're reading it without any knowledge beforehand, you don't know he's there. Nobody knows he's there until they mention his name. You're like, wait a minute, kept talking about these 3 men. Who's this 4th guy? Elihu, the son of Barachel. And something was inside of him that as he listened to them, and it bothered him. Not that they didn't have good information, because if you notice something, and some people take it out of context that when he spoke to them, like he spoke to them in disrespect, almost, until you see that the Most High backed his position. But what you notice first about him is that he says nothing. And a lot of times the youth don't understand this position. When they sit amongst the elders, if they even sit amongst the elders, they don't know that their time there is to, like my grandmother used to say, you were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that you can listen more and talk less. And for days, you don't hear him say a word. All throughout the councils that they were coming up with all manner of dark sayings and information and wisdom that to this day we still be like, shh. You go back to Job 3 years later, you're like, wait a minute, that's there? What? And to this day, I still go into Eob and I'm like, whoa, wow. So he was taking it all in, and he was quiet. So that's one of the first things that I want to get on. Normally, we go elders and then young, but I wanted to speak to the youth first. Take a page out of Elihu's book. Sit amongst the elders. Don't always hang out with your peers. Go and find an elder or a few elders, male or female, and or both, and sit under them. Listen, learn, take it all in, because the counsel that they will give you will save your life. The only reason why he was able to speak in the comfort that he spoke was because he had been learning. When you listen to the speech and the things that he said, you can tell that he was always amongst them. This wasn't like he just happened to pop up at this particular scene. He was always amongst these men. That's why they were comfortable with letting him be there. I say this because I'm a young man. I'm not yet 40, but I will be 40 within the next year. And in my few years here, I can say that I've sat amongst great men and women. And, I miss my teachers, the ones that have gone on. I appreciate my teachers that are still here. This past year, I lost one of the elders Ima Tamima, who was, I can't even express with words what she meant to me and to my growth and upbringing, along with all of my teachers before, like Rabbi Poinsett, like Rabbi Brooks, like Rabbi Bullins, Rabbi Cadmiel, Cohen Levy. I sat amongst and under their teachings, some closer than others. Some of my teachers are still around, like Rabbi Baruch, who I thank Yah for him, because I learned so much. The voice that I just heard, Ima Basheba, or y'all like to call her Mo, as she's so fondly called. Ima Taria, how I learned harmony and how I learned, you know, not to back down when you know something is right. Like Prince Arishadai, who's always sharp and on point. And when I say sharp, I'm not talking about his clothing, although y'all know he's sharp. Trust me. But I'm talking about sharp when it comes to the knowledge and the wisdom of Torah. But in Elihu's speech, he speaks, and it says that there's a spirit in man, and he couldn't restrain it any longer because they spoke out of turn with Eob. So why I'm bringing this up is because if you young people, young women, young men, sit under your elders, there will come a time when you will have an opportunity to speak. I'm proof of this. I never asked to speak. I never make it a big deal to run up in front of everybody. If you can see under my arms right now, I'm sweating crazily. And people who know me say, you always talking, Azri. I'm like, yeah, because it's a personal situation. I'll run my mouth all day. But when it's time to speak before the masses, I'm nervous because I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I also learned to take the time to listen before I spoke. So I want to say this to you. Take the time to listen. Sit down. Wear out the steps of the wise men, of the wise women. Be at their houses. Find time to help them. Find time to visit them. Learn from them. And then take the time to speak. Make sure that you take it in what it is that they have for you, because the information that they have is going to save your life. I can tell you this, and then I'm done, because that's my time. The things that a lot of these elders, and let me not say all that much elders, but older than me, the things that they've taught me and showed me is the reason why I'm still here. And I'm thankful to Yah for them and all of their wisdom and all of their time that they've taken to take people like me under their wing to teach me. So learn from their experience, watch them, follow them, and let them guide you to the position that you're supposed to be in. Yah will show you where you're supposed to be. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Now, our brother Asael is ready. He's going to give us a rendition on a violin. We were made to believe that, you know, this is not for us. But our Israel, when we touch any musical instruments, you see how he's coming up here? It's all smooth and everything. Usually the violin group come in like this. They sit down and he's coming in with a little chip to it. That's how you know any musical instrument we put our hands on, we can master it. Let's give our brother Isaiah a welcome.
Shalom, shalom, family. How y'all doing? You know, I actually asked somebody, the person who was sitting next to me, how many people were in here. And when he said about 400, I ain't gonna lie, my heart kind of sank. But I haven't had a crowd this big since ever, really. I'm just gonna say it out loud. I'm nervous right now. I'm just real nervous. But oh well. All right. Let's see what we got first. How about this? It's just a sound check, real quick. Oh, guess that doesn't work. Yeah, still nervous. Yeah, I am. my goodness. Let's see. Yeah, I think I can only do that one more time, to be honest with you.
Getting warm now.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Let me just do a test. Hold on one second. All right, we good. Yeah, I'm done. I'm too tired for this.
Now that brother, we have to give him another round of applause. I have never heard a violin sound that smooth before. That was the calmest, nervous person I've ever seen. He came up here, yeah, I'm nervous. Now, we're gonna need a lot more people like this brother here. Because this kind of music here can calm a lot of us down. When some of us get overly hyped, we need to take them in a corner and say, Asa'el, Bakusha. Calm them down. My goodness. This Ima here. Ima Tyria. Emo, it wasn't me.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm going to tell you what this emo was thinking about yesterday. First, I'd like to give honor and praises to the Creator. Yesterday, I didn't have my ID. I thought I was going to have problems getting on the plane. I did have problems, but I did have a piece of IDs, and they allowed me to get on. And I had to be searched. So, this young, fine brother he took my bag. But he wasn't gonna search me. Here come this big, brawly woman. And I said, I want him to pat me down. So times are really changing. Hallelujah. Giving all honor and praises to everyone that's here. And I'm going to bring it down a little bit. For his eyes is on the sparrow, and I know that he watches me. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for Israel, my home? Since Yah is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eyes is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me.
That's power in that voice there. All those Zakwanim, they were feeling it. They start putting up their hands like that. Y'all know how far back that go, right? When those elders start doing that, that means they feeling it. Let us put our hands together and welcome the group from Cincinnati, who's going to continue and giving praise to Yah, because that's what this day is about, glorifying the name of Yah. So let us welcome them, everybody. Come on up. This is about the glory of Yah.
Shalom, everybody, once again. I'm happy to be here, happy to see everybody's faces.
If you're here to praise Yah, I need everybody to stand up. Said if you're here to praise Yah, everybody stand up. How many people you know got music with their mom at 24 years old? Or what about at 20? You can start it when you're ready, but this song called Giving Thanks. If you like our music, you can hit us up for a CD later tonight or tomorrow. We're going to start off with an acapella. Giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah, for all He's done, giving thanks to Yah. Raise your hands up high to the Most High. Giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah. Drop that, DJ. If you're here to praise Yah, I need y'all to participate. You feel what I'm saying? Clap, sing. If you know the words, put your hands in the sky. This for the Almighty. This not for me. It's not for you. It's for Yahweh. It's not for the person next to you. Hey, can you start it over for me? Sorry about that. And turn the music up for me just a little bit, please. Okay, it's been a long day. When it's all said and done, I'm on my knees to pray. Hands up. Yahweh always got me through the day. I swear I never put another man in this holy place. I never put another God in this holy place. It's more than fate, more than grace, superior race. I really feel it in my veins, a walking testament of the old, not the new. Feeling blessings cause I was born amongst the chosen few. It's nothing really new. A two live individual, sending blessings to my family and my crew, to the one that's not identical. Inspirational words from a man who told me can't nobody limit you unless you let them where they get the best. But I doubt that ever happened if I'm guided like a GPS. And I never give it a rest, sending blessings to the best because I'm always going through a test. Yes, giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah, for all He's done, giving thanks to Yah. Raise your hands up high to the Most High. Hey, hey, hands up. Giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah. Because I always make it through. Yeah, always make it, always make it, always make it through. I see the beauty of the firmament and think about your shining face. Feeling soulless in this wilderness, broken hearted, let the healing begin. Precious anointment upon my skin. Get me further, I just wanna be next to the prophets like Zipporah. Feeling sorrow as a son of Korah. Let us look to our King for His word to restore us. Beating for the sanctuary of the Elohim. He praise Him to His presence is near. Yah's love got us shining like a chandelier. Full of His compassion, still standing as a pioneer. Who mightier than Yah? Look into my eyes and you see broken but never hopeless. Swelling in the belly of the beast like Jonah. Fasting, keeping a humble persona like I'm supposed to. Raised up as a righteous soldier. Yeah. Giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah. Hands up, hey, hands up. For all He's done, giving thanks to Yah. Raise your hands up high to the Most High. Giving thanks to Yah, giving thanks to Yah. Because I always make it through. Always make it, always make it, always make it through. What? Because I always make it through. Always make it, always make it, always make it through. I put my hands up in the sky and I pray I make it through. Force my head through the spring and my dreams I broke through. Awoken in the evening tide of the Lord's light. Stronger stand, wiser man, He hear my voice and make me right. Shape me to an Israelite. You can see it in my eyes. Put His into His law. If that's the way that I survive under my
my feet. Liberation from this captivity. Everything we was, you required it to be. Make it here, make it there. And if my bed is made in hell, that will be there. That will be there. Yeah. Hey. Giving thanks to y'all. Giving thanks to y'all. For all he's done. Giving thanks to y'all. Raise your hands up high to the Most High. Hey, hey, giving thanks to y'all. I see y'all in the back. Giving thanks to y'all. Because I always make it through. Always make it, always make it, always make it through. What? Because I always make it through.
Always make it, always make it, always make it through. Yeah.
Praise y'all.
Giving thanks to y'all.
Giving thanks to y'all. For all he's done, giving thanks to y'all. Raise your hands up high to the Most High.
Giving thanks to y'all. Giving thanks to y'all.
Praise y'all.
Before I get down, I just want to say a couple of words to some of the teachers. The teachers are very inspiring. It's very inspiring just to be here in this city. This is such a great city with so many talented individuals, so much great hospitality, you know, and it's a different experience coming from where I'm coming from up north in Cincinnati, you know what I'm saying? But I'm so grateful to be able to experience something so great with the drums, everything. It's so beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I see how the Most High moving each and everybody's spirit individually, you know what I'm saying, and we all different, but at the end of the day, what make us, you know what I'm saying, the people is that we all serve Yah. Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying, no matter which way we do it, we all doing it though, you know what I'm saying, so, and I praise Yah, and all the teachers that spoke up here was great. I got a message from each and every one of them, from the first to the last, man. Y'all beautiful teachers, and y'all doing an excellent job, man. I praise Yah for y'all. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Praise to the mighty Yah. Giving praise to the mighty Yah for everything that he does for us and allowing us to be here once again this day as we continue on with the program. We like to acknowledge those in the midst of us that do great things, just as we acknowledge those that were in the past. While people are alive, it's time to acknowledge them as well. But just briefly, just to make mention of some of those that went before us, because we always talk about Rabbi Matthew, Rabbi Ford, Kohen Lewy, got Mordecai Herman Taylor, Maury Elisha, Ben Ami, Nasi Ben Ami, many great men, Rabbi Yohanatan, many great men went before us. Mother Louise Daly, many great men and women. So now it's time to continue on that legacy, and while people are alive, it's time to honor them as well. So at this time, I call up Chief of Chiefs, Chief Naftali Ben Naftali.
Hallelujah. What a mighty God we serve. Yahweh is King. Yahweh is King. Yahweh was King. Yahweh shall be King forever and evermore. Hallelujah. All right. Once in a while I get an assignment. And it is an honor and a pleasure to stand here right now. And I know why those people got up here and said they were nervous. You're looking fine. You look great. And I just want to mention the man that first called me chief. And that was Prince Yaakov Hanassi. He raised me up to be a chief man. I don't ever want to forget that. We always must remember where we came from and the bridge that brought us across. That right, Dr. Bowen?
Yes, sir.
That's the way to go. That's my man's in now. I had to say that at least once. I want very much to thank God for everyone who came up here today. When I heard the young people were going to speak, and I didn't have to get up here and be nervous, I was glad, and they did not let us down. Wow. Woo. These people got knowledge, the correct use of knowledge, which is hakmah, wisdom and talent. And I'm glad I didn't have to follow Leah. She really dug into what is needed to be known, baby. Find out your cause and your hurt so that it doesn't get passed on. Is that right? See? Well, my assignment comes early when I come to these events. I get called in the back room. So we want you today to award or present an award to the Man of the Year. And that's what I'm going to do. But I better thank God for one more thing. I felt the love everybody gave me when they heard my age. And I thank you so much. Showing me the love, baby. Yeah. Rabbi Bowen gave me a big hug outside. There she is over there. That's my other ace. And of course, my best friend is in the room, Princess Rivka Naftali. We're talking about marriage and divorce, right, Leah? And divorces, etc. Well, they happen. But the Most High God wouldn't let me mess up with this one. So, let's see, August 17th will be 54 years. 54. Yes, sir. You all got my lima bean soup made already. Amen. It is such a beautiful day, and it is such a wonderful honor to present this award. I'm going to read it to you. Man of Valor, for his unwavering commitment to Yah and his people, through long-standing, dedicated, and faithful service. July 2007. I just want to say this about the recipient of this award. He's loved by so many people. He's important to all of us. He's been important to me for many years. I watched him grow up. When I first saw him, I guess he was a young teenager, maybe junior high school, something like that. And I watched him become the reader at Shema Yisrael before we had a place, when we were occupying Ima Sarah's basement. Remember that? And then when we first came into the park, to Lincoln Terrace Park, that was about the time I decided I was done with organized religion. I wasn't hanging out with Israelites no more. And somebody said, Prince Support's round in the corner there in the park teaching on Shabbat. I said, well, I'll go slip around there and see what's up. And I got in the park, and as soon as I got in there, Prince Support said, hey, Chief Napley's here. We're going to hear a word from him. I just came to look. And then this young fellow stood up and said, I'll read for him. And he read for me, and we just clicked, you know, because he knew how to give me the ball. You know, because I get a certain rhythm from the congregation, and he could read and give me the lead into my next thought so smoothly. Next thing I know, he's become something of a recorder. When we would have teaching, he would have his little tape recorder there and be recording all of our lessons and making them into little files to keep them, you know, for history's sake. And then when we got to 297 Saratoga Avenue, I remember personally he came to me and said, let's do the life of King David on audio cassette. And I did the life of David. And then he decided, you know what? We need to tape these things. Let's do it over again. Let's do it over. I didn't think it would work, but it worked. Because he's such a good organizer, and he's a producer and a director. Well, then he came to me, and he came to some of us, like Crown Prince and Cohen Mikhael and others. He said, I want to put your history down on tape so that people will know who you are. You see? Hey, you get to 75, you start thinking about mortality. Never mind, you know, those other good things. You might feel like you're not a day over, but you are. And so I said, sure. He came to our home, and I thought he was going to come with a mic and a handheld thing. He came with lights, camera, action, the whole thing. I said, what's going on? He made my study room into a movie set. And it all flowed out. You know how he worked with you, right? He makes you feel at ease. He knows the questions to ask. He understands the sense of history. You know, when the book of Chronicles were written years ago, we don't have a sense of who the penman was. But the Most High God always has someone in place to record how he's moving history, because it's his story. And now we want to recognize once again a powerful young man of God. This is a man of valor. This is awarded to Chief Uziel Levi for his unwavering commitment to Yah and his people through long-standing, dedicated, and faithful service. July 2017. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah. Blessed be Yehovah, King. You may be seated. Thanking the Most High, Creator of heaven and earth, for life, food, clothing, and shelter. Thanking all of you for this award. I don't know whose idea was this, but there's so many people. There's so many people that are deserving of such an award. I'm still at the bottom of the list because there's so many people. But I would just like to thank everyone for even thinking of me in this wise. And you know, the recording thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't speak about the person who actually, you know, I started recording when we used to hold services. Prince Paul used to live on Lincoln Place. Those of you that know, we used to do services in the apartment, and I brought my tape recorder, started recording. Then I stopped for a long time. And my father-in-law, Chief Amos Ben Yehuda, may the Most High God bless his memory, he told me, big man, you can't stop taping, big man. They say, you the modern day scribe, you know. So, me being from when I was young, you know, I learned from brothers how to hustle, but we hustled the right way. So I said, you know, if I buy a case of tapes, and these guys is always asking me for teachings, if I record and I charge them $5 for each tape, I'm going to have a nice grip at the end of the week. That's how it started, 14, 15 years old, just press record. And listen, I learned how to save. I learned how to be economical. I learned how to do all those things, and the people in the congregation were the ones that actually caused me to advance and do all these things. So I thank the Most High God for that. I thank the Most High God for everyone that's been a part of my life, that's helped me to become the person that I am. And it's a long journey. It's a lot of things happen and transpired through the few years, but I got to thank the Most High God for giving me the strength to move on and carry on. And I'd like to thank all of you who made it so easy for me to be able to do the things that I do, get on camera, do all the things, interview elders. Sometimes elders say things and they just trust that I'm going to do the right thing with the video, because there's a lot of information that's given in the videos that if you hear it, you'd be like, oh boy. But, that's what it is, and that's what you have to do in order to preserve our history and not have revisionist history. A lot of people have revisionist history, meaning they go back and they rewrite history the way they want to. But when it's coming from the horse's mouth, then no one can change the history, and the history is what it is. So we thank the Most High God for our elders. I thank the Most High God for all my teachers. Regardless of whatever happened between, the situation that we had, I can't say that, I can't go on without mentioning, one of my main teachers, which was Prince Zipporah Ben Zebulun, and that the Most High God would bless him. But I also had other teachers along the way that sometimes we don't mention, but what most of y'all know me from is from being under Prince Zipporah for 27 years. So from when I was 13 years old. So I thank the Most High God for his life, regardless of whatever might have happened. I still love him. Love my brother Prince Jeriel Ben Yissaschar, Chief Prince Jeriel Ben Yissaschar, that the Most High God be with him. That's the first man that taught me how to drive. I was all over if you know Prince Jeriel, he laid back. He was like, all right, that's the gas, that's the brake. I think his sister Devorah gave him a little gray car. And he was like, let's go. Marb almost tore everything up and down Eastern Parkway. And he was just cool as the other side of the pillow. Don't worry about it, just slow down a little. He was listening to Ice Cube or something like that. But I thank the Most High God for everyone that's here. Chief of Chiefs, for that introduction. I thank you, Chief. And I thank everyone from down here in this house down here called Shade. I was going to the basement. The brother told me, you can't go anywhere. We need you to do something. And this is what it was. So I thank all of you once again. Sar, Aharon, everyone down from the community in Charlotte, Tavel, everyone, Vishadai, everyone. Thank you. And whoever I forgot, may the Most High God bless you.
Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. So as we continue on, got more surprises for some people in here. So that's why we said everybody needs to come back, because you never know what's going to happen. As we continue to praise the Most High on this holy day, and once again just acknowledging those that are alive to make sure that they continue doing the things that they're doing, and that they have a support system behind them. And that's basically what this is about, to make sure that they know that there's a community of people worldwide that is behind them to continue doing the work that they're doing. So for the next introduction, I'm going to call up Geveret Yael to make the next presentation.
Shabbat Shalom, Nicole. All praises to the Creator. Oh, you, this from here, you're beautiful. Hine Matova Manayam, Shevet Akim Gam Yaka. All right, I'm going to read a little bit here. First of all, I'm honored to have the privilege to present this next award to a young lady who is a phenomenal woman of valor. I met her several years ago, and from then until now, she treats me as though we've known each other for a lifetime. She is known for bringing women together to praise the Creator from all understandings, all walks of life. And she wears that proudly. She doesn't hide it at all. So I'm just going to read her bio. Just give me a second here. All right. This presentation award, Woman of the Year, Woman of Valor Award, is going to Rabbi Deborah Bowen. Bio I'd like to read. Rabbi Deborah Bowen has served as spiritual leader of Congregation Temple Bethel for the past 16 years. After succeeding her mother, Rabbi Louise Daly of blessed memory, who led the congregation from 1956 to 2001. Prior to becoming a rabbi, Deborah graduated cum laude with a bachelor degree in accounting from Temple University, studied at the Reconstructionist Rabbinical College in Philadelphia, and managed corporate accounts at General Electric Corporation. After becoming a full-time rabbi in 2001, she went on to become the first African American to be named to the Philadelphia Board of Rabbis. On March 29, 2009, under her leadership, Congregation Temple Bethel purchased the new Sefer Torah, imported from the state of Israel, and the community has established significant inroads into the broader Jewish community through her involvement in the American Jewish Committee and personal relationship forged with former Israeli Ambassador Michael Oren. Of particular significance has been her work as founder of the Phenomenal Women's Association, impacting the lives of Israelite women from across the country and beyond. She is in fact a phenomenal woman, a mother in Israel, and inspirational force among the people of Israel. I'm going to read this. Woman of Valor, awarded to Rabbi Deborah Bowen for her exemplary service to Yah and her people through qualities of excellence. Shalom, everybody. You can be seated. There are a few times in my life when I am speechless. Today is one of them. I did not know that anybody knew that I was coming. My husband and I talked about this, and I knew I wanted to be somehow. I felt like I wanted to be here this year. My husband and Sarah Aharon, who is just amazing, have forged such a close relationship
with the IMA, and Yael and I has been a supporter for the Phenomenal Israelite Women's Conference. Okay, you can go ahead, Jerry. And I just felt like I needed to be here. I've never been able to come before. The month of July is my anniversary month on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of July, family. But this year I said I'm taking off, and I am so glad that I did. I have enjoyed so much. And I feel welcomed. I want to tell you this, don't ever give a rabbi a mic, because, they'll talk forever. But growing up, my father was an engineer from Baltimore, Maryland, and he was one of the first black engineers to work on the first space shuttle that went up. My mother, however, chose a different field, and many of you know she's the first rabbi of Congregation Temple Bethel, and if you never met her, a blessed memory, you missed something. And so we were raised with my mother's family mainly, our aunts and uncles and cousins and what have you. And very seldom we get to interact with my father's people. When my father passed, blessed memory, we went to the funeral, and we got there, I got to see people who looked like my twins. I was like, this is my family. And although we had never met before, never seen each other, immediately there was a bond formed because we knew we were family. And so today when I came here, I heard you talking about people I did not know, and many of you I've never met before, but there was a bond here because you were speaking my language. You were talking about the one Elohim, the God of all the earth, oh hallelujah, the creator of everything, who has no birthdays and no death days, and the prophet Moses said, from everlasting to everlasting, thou art the eternal. Hallelujah! And I felt right at home. I was feeling a little bad though, because this morning everybody that came up had some entrance music and some exit music, and they had, charts or whatever, and I didn't get any of that, but I want to tell you, I am one of the tribe. We are family. This is Israel. And I thank you for the wonderful welcome. I thank you for the award. I am overwhelmed. We hope that we can do this again. We invite you to come to Philadelphia, and we hope to be back to whatever's happening in Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Hallelujah. Once again, giving praise and honor to the Most High. Thank you for everybody that's here this day. Thank you here for his presence. Thanking the Most High for people that are able to keep secrets. For so long a time, people were able to keep secrets, to make sure that people were here to get what they was due to them. Before we call up the next speaker, if anybody drove a Mazda here and you don't have your key in your pocket, then I have it. So now the next speaker, or the final speaker for this day, we're going to call up the leader of the Hebrew family of Charlotte, Sar Aharon.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Please be seated. You never know when they're going to call you. First and foremost, I'd like to give thanks to the Holy One of Yisrael, for his mercy does endure forever, for my life, for the lives of all of you, for your safe passage, praying that the Creator will watch over us individually and collectively throughout this weekend, that you all get home safely and find your homes as you left them. You having a good time? Hallelujah. Our mission here in the Hebrew family of Charlotte is to make sure that we give you the hospitality of Abraham when you come to visit us. I heard some powerful, powerful messages today. Very inspirational. And it's a great feeling when you know that somebody's listening. First of all, I need to know how much time I have. Where's the mask? Okay. I'm going to try. Told I need a reader. So I'm going to see who can do that for me when I get ready to have some portions read. I want our young people to pay very close attention to my message today because it's directed towards you. As all the messages have been today, I want to make sure I get this right. The first thing I want to say, if I get a little wired up, I'm not angry at anybody. I love all of you. And sometimes a little bit of animation might make people think, oh, it's arrogance. Oh, that's mean. No, it's not. When you love somebody, you call it like you see it. And it doesn't always sound pretty, but it's always given in love. And I want to put that out there first. And I don't intend to get all wired up, but you never know. Okay, so I want to get that off the top because I don't want anybody to misinterpret anything that I say. When I came into this way of life, I was 27-ish. So I spent a lot more than half of my life in this way. And when I came in, you know how it is, you first come in. I came in as an adult, so I can't speak to what it's like to be a kid and having to go through, having to claim this identity and with high respect for yourself and the esteem that it takes to go through a captivity within a captivity and understand the trauma that it may cause children or what have you to deal with that. I had to raise children in this way, but I didn't have to be raised in this way. I say that to say this. When you come in as an adult, you don't have time to play around. You got to get to work. If you understand what the nation is about, you got to get to work. And they put me right to work. And I came in young. I came in with all of these ideas and all of this, you know, zeal for the Creator, for my people. And I saw myself as a part of the future, a part of the present and a part of the future. But as these elders will tell you, every year that goes by, you become more a part of the past and less of the future. There's nothing you can do about it. It's going to happen. And when that happens, you realize that you don't have any control over it, number one. And I don't care how tough you think you are, you're going to get out of here sooner or later. Whether you go kicking and screaming or whether you understand your time is passing. We have to accept that. And there's nothing we can do about it. But that doesn't mean we lose love for our children. And for me, it's even my grandchildren now. Because I think I did okay with my children. And, you know, they're at a point where they have to start making decisions. But to those of you who think that you're a part of the future, you're actually a part of the present. If you're a generation below me, you're a part of the present. And you have an obligation to understand and know that you have to figure out what your purpose is. And you have to get on your task with your purpose. There's some leaders today that think they're going to live forever. They think that they're still in control. They think that the power is all theirs. I'm not one of them. I understand that the power is going to change hands. It's just a matter of time. Your task, young people, not just this generation, but your children and your children's children, have to understand that the world is changing. The world is constantly changing. But you and your mind cannot let these changes consume you. They talked about it today, so I don't have to get into it. The social media and all of the social media turned us into a global people again. But if you're using it for negative purposes, then the social media is going to be a part of the downfall of the nation of Israel. You may not realize it, but we're at a crossroads right now. All the staunch people who were hard on you about what you wore, how you acted, how you spoke, they're leaving the scene. We've already, spiritually or emotionally, in some of your minds, already left the scene. We're passé. You don't want to hear what we have to say. It's a new day. We're still around trying to push certain things because a people and a culture should not change in a generation. It's happening too fast. And at the pace we're going, my grandchildren are doomed. Because you are giving up too much of the past. It's happening too fast. I like to go to Proverbs. I'm going to stay in Proverbs because the wisdom is there.
Yes, it is.
And you've heard it before. I'm not going to run anything by you that you haven't already heard, but I want you to listen to it with a different frame of mind. I want you to listen to it in the sense that you are now tasked with the responsibility of carrying this nation into the next 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah.
That's not my job. I'm not a part of the future. I'm a part of the present and I'm a part of the past. These men, I don't know, I may be the first one telling them, they're a part of the present and a part of the past. You're not a part of the future. The wisdom that we have is going in a grave with us unless you carry it on, unless you adopt it, and unless you regenerate it and procreate this information. Because if you don't, this is the last of the teachings of Cohen Levy and Rabbi Matthews and all those men that came before them, because the process is happening a lot quicker because of social media, because of the music that you're listening to, and the world that's changing. I don't have to talk about the government. You got all your hope in the government still? Really? You really think America, because they got all of those bombs and all of those ships and everything that they have, that they're going to save you? That's not going to happen. If we, all of us, survive the next 3.5 years. I mean, really. I'm scared. Let me say, well, let's get to the book, because I'm hot right now. We're going to go to Proverbs. Like I said, don't take it personal. It's about us as a nation. Time's running out. I want to say this too, about talk. I've heard a lot of speakers up here. Talk is great, but talk is nothing but a catalyst. It's a catalyst to make us put the information into action. Otherwise, it's just talk. Talk has absolutely no value unless you adopt it and you activate yourselves, you individually. Don't look for your leader to do anything that you're not willing to do for this nation. Really. Because you are really the next leaders. What was that slogan?
Show the love, teach the
Show the love.
speak the truth.
Now I'm speaking the truth. Okay? I'm going to go to Proverbs. Gosh, I'm going to try to make it quick. I'm going to skip a few. Let me see what I'm getting to. I'm going to drop some of these. I'm talking to the children, but I want the parents to understand the responsibility that we have as parents. I don't care how many jobs you work, you're still a parent 100% of the time. 100% of the time you have to be a parent. If you got to use a phone, now you got cell phones. Your children, babies walking around with cell phones. There's no reason why you can't parent 24/7. And that's what we have to do because, you know, they don't get like that by themselves. We have to pay attention to our children. Let's go to Proverbs 3:3. I don't know what it's going to say. I have it down here.
הספר משלי, פרק 3, Proverbs 3:3. Let not kindness and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck. Write them upon the table of thy heart. So shalt thou find grace and good favor in the sight of Elohim and man. Trust in God with all thy heart, and lean not upon thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path.
Okay. I'm looking at all these faces, beautiful faces, young faces. Look around you. You are the population. There's a handful of us in here now. It's only a handful of us in here now. And I hate to put the pressure on you, but somebody has to put the pressure on you to understand that you have to grasp what you can before it's too late. The information that we've been putting out over all of these years, I've been in Israel over 35 years. And my responsibility is to take the ball a little further down the goal line or the field so that when you pick it up, you don't have so far to go. As a team, that's what teamwork is all about. Teamwork is about just progressing the ball to get to the goal line. And if I don't progress the ball, then I don't need to be on the team. And you, if you want to, you're on the team. This is a team you can't choose. You're on the team. You've been drafted by the Creator to be on the team. The Most High said, you're on the team. You're playing. Get out there and make some scores, some points for us. And I have a responsibility to take you to a different place so that when you pick up the ball and you start serving the Creator on this level of leadership and taking our people to another, then you have to be prepared to play. But if you don't have any information about the team, you know, how we move, our plans or what have you, where you going? Well, you ain't send you the ball. You might go in the opposite direction. And I'm going to tell you something. Everybody can't be the star player and everybody can't be the MVP. Just score some points and help to move the nation forward. I've been hearing for years, this ain't the time to go to Israel. This ain't the time to go to Israel. Who told you when the time to go to Israel was? The Creator left that land there for us. If we don't acknowledge it and show the land and we want the land is not going to accept us. When we decide to go, it's going to be too late. Like I said, I love everybody. I ain't mad at nobody. I'm speaking the truth. There was a time when we weren't supposed to go to the land. We couldn't go to the land. The Most High is making it possible. That's our land. If we don't at least show the land that we love the land, and what you waiting for your grandchildren to go to the land? Do we know when the Creator wants us to go to the land unless He sees that we want to go to the land? Everything that we want out of this nation, we have to show the Creator we want it. He's not going to send it down with a drone or whatever and hand it to us. If we want to serve this Lord, guess what? We have to open the book and read it. He's not going to open the book and read it to us. We have to want to know what's in there, and we have to accept the edicts that the Creator gave us. So that, and then you know what? When you learn to do it, you learn to love it.
Yes.
Right. But America, freedom of speech, and when I was growing up, the slogan was, it's a free country. You can't tell me what to do. I can't tell you what to do, but it's not a free country, and freedom ain't free. The more we think that we could do whatever we want to do, the more our nation is becoming scattered and ignorant and totally oblivious to the fact that we are not a nation. Everybody knows I don't like the word unity Shabbat, because it's a Shabbat of love. It's a family reunion. Unity Shabbat means that I'm not just going to be your brother when I'm here on the stage or when I come to an event like this. Unity means all the time. Unified. If we're waiting for all of us to get along and all of us to have the same teachers and all of us to call the Shabbat at the same time and end at the same time and speak the same way, and then that's going to divide us. We're never going to get it together, and you cannot blame the other nations for that. Unity means to me, just like with your family, that regardless of what, we're still blood and we're going to get along no matter what. We're not going to let anything divide us. It's scary. When you start getting into your 60s and you see what's happening and you say, well, what's going to be left for my grandchildren? If we keep separating ourselves by the different things, modes of separation that the man has given us, we don't, now, come on now. This week, the saddest thing that you would ever hear came out of Pennsylvania. A young daughter driving her car and merging into another lane, and the guy decides, I guess she was taking up too much space, shot her and kept going. Killed her, 18 years old, just finished high school and on her way to college. It's in the news. Anybody watching the news? How do you prevent that? You can't prevent that unless you have the mercies of Yah. That's it. That's your only salvation. That could have been any one of our children. Any one of our children coming home from picking up her books for school. Do we have time to waste? Do we really have time to waste bickering on Facebook about this thing and that thing? And then another killing last week. Some girls was bickering on Facebook. So I don't know how they met up. Shot the young guy, 24 years old, killed him. They haven't found any of these people, of course. That's what we're dealing with. They put a time on me. I'm sorry. I want to go back because the children have to understand something. You think life is here forever. It's not. I know you don't believe me. I know you don't believe me because you think you got all the time in the world. So did that 18-year-old girl. But even if you think you have a lot of time, how do you want to spend it? What are we going to do as a nation to make sure, this is your responsibility, to make sure that there's a nation that can go back into the land of Israel. Now I know it's only supposed to be a remnant, but how many, with three or four people? We have to start thinking in the same frame of mind. Link up with each other. That's why I know that I'm not a part of the future, because I don't think I'll ever have a Facebook page. So I may never get to talk to y'all on Facebook. But guess what? Y'all talking to each other on Facebook. Encourage each other. Help each other. Tell each other there's jobs out there. There's 6 million jobs in America that they can't find people to fill. Because our children are taking classes that can't get them a job, and they need machinists like crazy. They need HVAC technicians. They need all of these. Find out what is needed for the next several years, and what we need as a nation before you start taking classes.
Right. That's right.
Why take a bunch of classes and you got a bachelor's degree and you can't get a job?
That's right.
The parents have to sit down with the children. Hey, son, what do you want to be? What do you want to take? Well, hey, look at this. Well, what's the job market like for that? What's the job market going to be like for the next 10 years? This is what's going on right now. This is what we're going to need as a nation. We got 2 or 3 engineers in here right now, just graduated from college.
Hallelujah.
Okay? We need teachers. We need dentists for our teethus. Okay? The ones that got something left. We need somebody to help take care of us. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be serious. If we're going to build as a nation, how do you build as a nation? Then you're going to call everybody, can you come over and be a part of our nation multitude so you can help us be a nation? I just want you to think. I just want you to think. I'm talking to the young people. I want you to think, because before you know it, you're going to be mad at your children for not doing what you say you didn't do or they should have done, and now you're moving on to another generation. All the stuff that Leah said, you better pay attention, because if we don't fix our families, we ain't going to be a community, and we're never going to be a nation. If your seat is hot, you know you're the one need to help be doing something to help fix this problem. I'm here to make you uncomfortable, but welcome. Why? Because I want to, and what I'm trying to do, what I've been trying to do, anybody knows me in Israel knows I'm just a stickler for making sure we make progress. Yes. We have to make progress. Talk is just talk if you don't do something to back it up. I want to go back to chapter 1. Let's do verse 20, please. Young people, pay attention, because it's all on you. You have to start getting yourself together. And for those of you who got yourself together, hallelujah. I'm thankful for you. And I'm hoping that you will be a guide for everyone else. Young people, find somebody. If you don't want to be a leader, then find a good leader that's going to help guide you, or help build you up, or help encourage you and develop you so that you can be an asset. Not just to yourself, but to your family, to your community, and to the nation. Otherwise, we're just going to fall into the streets. There's no point in having all of this knowledge and wasting it on the American dream that really is about hate your brother, kill your brother, destroy your whole family. They set this system up purposely, going back to slavery, for us to really be annihilated. It's only the mercies of Yah that have helped us survive. We haven't even done enough to help ourselves survive. Because we're still killing each other. Snitches get stitches. Listen, if you shoot somebody on my block, I don't care who you are, I'll die first before I let you get away with it. And I know you did it. It's just a matter for you going to shoot one of mine. Proverbs 20. I'm not mad at nobody, by the way. I did put that out there, right? Okay. Proverbs 120.
Wisdom crieth aloud in the street. She uttereth her voice in the broad places. She calleth at the head of the noisy streets, at the entrances of the gates. In the city, she uttereth her words. She uttereth her words.
Wisdom is everywhere. You just got to know how to tap into it. You got to know it when you see it. You got to listen when you hear it. Time sheet.
How long? How long? How long, ye thoughtless, will ye love thoughtlessness? And how long will scorners delight them in scorning? And fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you, because I have called, and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand, and no man attended.
Listen.
But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also, in your calamity, will laugh, and I will mock when your dread cometh. When your dread cometh as a storm, and your calamity cometh on as a whirlwind. When trouble and distress come upon you.
As parents, we do not want to see you suffer that fate. I want you to go, Bavakashar, because I got to cut it short. I want you to go to chapter 11. And I'm sorry. No, I apologize. It's not chapter 11. It's chapter 31. It's chapter 30. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right, you know what? I'm going to skip that. I want to read something for you, and then I'm going to step down because my time is up. I just want our youth to understand something, that a parent's hope and dreams for a baby when they're first born is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it's our obligation to nurture all of the dreams and the hopes that we have for you. And at some point in time in the teens, we lose that power to encourage you and to help develop you, because you become a little more independent and you get a mind of your own. We have to stick it in there wherever we can, just to try not to alienate you, but at the same time to encourage you. And it's a very, very big struggle. You think you're struggling because you're dealing with all of the forces around you, and your parents are just like, womp, 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 womp. You don't want to hear what they have to say. All we want to do is give you the best life possible, that you can live your best life. We don't want to see you fail. We don't want to see you hurt. We don't want to see you broken. Right. And we're making mistakes along the way that's kind of helping that happen, maybe. But at a certain point in your life, you have to say, I don't care how bad my childhood was, but I now have a responsibility to be a parent. I now have a responsibility to make the best life I can make for myself. And you have to let it go for no other reason, for your own success. And so, say we're telling you all day, listen to the elders, get the wisdom, because eventually you're going to be the elder. And if you don't have the wisdom, you're not going to be good for what's going to come for your next 2 or 3 generations. There was a song written back in the 60s. And it was sung, it was sung by Nina Simone, who was the favorite singer of my brother Malky. I'll call him Malky Ben Levy. And I want to read those words to you because they still apply today. Now, you may have to put a different word in some of the words I'm going to say, but I want you to hear these words. I can't sing. So I'm not going to sing. I'll sing the first line. To be young, gifted, and black. Oh, what a lovely, precious thing. To be young, gifted, and black. Open your heart to what I mean. In the whole world, you know, there are billions of boys and girls who are young, gifted, and black. And that's a fact. The elders know the song. Young, gifted, and black, we must begin to tell our young. There's a world waiting for you. This is a quest that's just begun. When you feel really low, yeah, there's a great truth you should know. When you're young, gifted, and black, your soul's intact. Young, gifted, and black, how I long to know the truth. There are times when I look back and I'm haunted by my youth. Oh, but my joy of today is that we can all be proud to say, to be young, gifted, and black is where it's at. Hallelujah. Don't waste any more time. Get on your purpose and get on your mission. Make it happen. Get this nation together. All you young people have been talking about the elders. I remember 30, 20 years ago, oh, these brothers, they don't know what they're doing. Where we get to, now the ball's in your court. Do something with it. Make us look bad. Make us look bad. Do something that we didn't do. Make us look bad and make your grandchildren look good. Hallelujah. Shabbat Ahav. Wish you all safe travels. Thank you for being here. I want to thank, right now, before we go any further, I want to thank the whole, the Hebrew family of Charlotte, all the hard workers, the sisterhood for the beautiful lunch, all the brothers for all the work that you do. Even our little ones work. We keep them all busy. Todayah for them, Todayah for you. Shabbat Shalom. Appreciate it.
So how's everybody feeling? Hopefully I continue to feel good as we begin to close out the service for the day. We thank the Most High for once again allowing everyone to be here this day and allowing everybody to get here safely. Praying that the Most High will continue to guide everyone throughout the rest of this weekend. That everybody is safe and afterwards going back home. That your travel is safe and you make it to your destination safely. Because as we mentioned earlier, not everybody's from here. Everybody, some people came from a long distance. So we pray that the Most High would allow people to get on those roads, get on those planes, get on those trains or whatever means that you're going to take to get to your homes safely. So as we begin to close out, once again, thanking the Most High God for allowing us to be here. He's the one that made everything. And it's to Him that we have to give our lives to because He has given us life. So the one that gives us life, we have to make sure that we serve Him with all of our heart, soul, and might as He has prescribed and meditate in His word day and night. So as we begin to close out with prayer, I call up to the stage Kohen Zadok Beloved. And if anybody found a pair of brown shades, a pair of sunglasses, please return it to, okay. And also I still have some car keys. So if you don't get your car keys, you won't be leaving here this day. So, yeah. No, I'm not taking the car, I'm just holding onto the keys.
Shalom, everybody. Just give me a second, please. First, giving thanks unto the Creator for everything. I appreciate seeing you all. There's so many faces we haven't seen in a while. and it's good to see everybody. Number one, I want to apologize for the time. We just didn't be not enough hours in the day to get everybody. Rabbi Baruch has something that he wanted to share, but we can try to do that tomorrow at the Hallelujah Fest. We'll get that information from you. It's in regards to 100 years from being under the leadership of Rabbi Matthews. So many folks did not get acknowledged, but I wanted to say, you know, from all of us, we love you. We appreciate you all coming out from your various cities. Thank you to New York City, Cincinnati, D.C., Atlanta, Guyana. I'm sure I'm missing Philadelphia. I'm missing so many people, but I thank y'all for all of you, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts. So we're going to end out a very simple way. And Ein Elohim, there's no God like Jehovah. I think we can all attest that there's no God like ours. And so, as the sun is going down and the Shabbat day is coming to a close, we want to let the angels on high know that there's no power like ours. And then we're going to close with a final prayer, and then we're going to go and party on a whole nother level. And so, again, we appreciate you. This is not possible unless you come out and want to bring the love and the brotherhood and the sisterhood that you have from your various cities. So we begin in this way. Ein Elohei ki mo Yahovah melech hagadol le'olam osera devarim nefnim yomei kol Yisrael amen. Ein Elohei ki mo Yahovah melech hagadol le'olam osera devarim nefnim yomei kol Yisrael amen. Badly, there is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say hallelujah. There is no power not like Jehovah, great King of the universe. He is always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say amen. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say, I can't hear you. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say amen. Come on, brothers, let's get it. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say hallelujah. There is no power not like Jehovah, great King of the universe. He is always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say amen. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe.
Barukata, Ukvola Shimeaka Eloheinu, Moganenu Ezrenu Umalkeinu, Kilaka, Laka, Rak Laka, Hakavod, Laken Banu, Baha Edith Haze, the Histaka Wedif Neka, the Teleka Modim Rabim, Al Shabbat Ashena Tatalanu. We told out of Bala Had Valim Ashera Manu Hayomaze. We now how Ali Yot Im Amka, Kiyatata, and not Nusorikim Otka, Ubliotka, and then Ukalim Na Asoma Uma. Kavoleka. We told out of Had Valim Ashena Tatalanu, Kiyananu Sorikim Ota. Barukata. Blessed art thou, O Yehovah, our power. All praises, all honor, and all glory. Unto thy high, much said by, Lord in name, from generation to generation, thou and thou alone art King in Israel. O Yehovah, our power and governor of our lives, we ask that we continue thy mercy and thy compassion upon the people of Israel. That thou would remember us, Jehovah, as we remember thee. That thou would remember the covenant that thou hast even made with our fathers, with Abraham thy friend, with Isaac thy beloved, and with Jacob thy servant. And that thou hast said that thou would be with them and their seed to 1,000 generations. And we call upon thee, the 1,000 generations in these dark lands, to give thee honor and praise. Thanking thee that thou hast restored unto us the Shabbat day. Thanking thee that thou hast restored unto us the holy seasons. Thanking thee, O, that thou hast restored unto us our minds, that we may once again turn them toward thee and be thankful for thy mercy and thy compassion. Oh, Yehovah, Pavak Bashar, be thou with us in our endeavors. With the elders, yea, Yehovah. With the young men that come up in this next generation who are doing great things, yea, Yehovah, be thou with them as thou was with us, the elders. Oh, Yah, Yehovah, Pavak Bashar, don't forget our babies, Pavak Bashar. So beautiful to hear them speak our own language. Oh, praises unto thee, Yehovah. For thou hast done it. Yea, Yehovah, it is thy hand and no other. Therefore we give thee praise. And we say, Hallelujah! 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 Selah.
There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say amen. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say amen. There is no power like Jehovah, great King of the universe. God's always doing wondrous things. Let all Israel say
we look unto the Most High God, and we hope and pray that we have done nothing this day that would cause him to withhold a blessing from any of us that are here under the sound of my voice, or our people throughout the length of the breadth of the earth. To Yehovah our King, we look to him and ask of him his mercy. Yivareka Yehovah Yishmareka, Yair Yehovah Pana Eleka Wikuneka, Yisa Yehovah Pana Elecha Yasim Leka. Shalom. May Yehovah bless you and keep you. May Yehovah make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May Yehovah turn his face to you and give you peace. Amen.
Okay, Bavakasha, just a few more minutes. Just announcements if you have a seat for a little bit. Just want to give you some instructions for tonight. If I can have your undivided attention, please. It'll make it go a little bit smoother. First, again, we thank you for coming out and helping us celebrate this Shabbat of love together. It was a phenomenal day, Torah. There are some brothers going around with some baskets. Your donation will definitely help us in the effort to make this event great. Again, those brothers will be coming by with some baskets. Whatever you can help us out with, we definitely appreciate it. The first announcement is about the party tonight. It starts at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and it is a cultural event, so we're asking that you wear cultural attire for male and female as best you can. Dress appropriately, Bavakasha. It's $15 to get into the event, and we are selling some guy's famous food. Cohen Shape Me has an itinerary for the entire weekend, so if you need it, you can see him for it. But tonight, the Nasiba, the party, is $15 to get in and $5 for a plate. The age is 18 and older. If you think you're 18, you check ID. Tonight, we also have babysitting for those that are looking into it. If you'd like to have your children babysitted, it's $20 for the first child and $1 per child after. So if you have 4 children, you pay $23. That's a steal. And trust me, when we party hard. We eat good and we party hard. Okay, in order to drink, you got to be 21 years of age. So you can come in the party at 18, but you will not be served a drink. Bavakasha, if I could have your attention, please. We're going to have a good time. Come out, support. This is just the first day of the family affair. Tomorrow is the Hallelujah Fest. We'll be back here in this building to have a good time at 1 o'clock tomorrow, where there will be praises. All of the people who have talents, dance, sing, we're encouraging you to come, bring that, and show the family your skills. If you have CDs, music, or whatever you're trying to sell, there are word tables available, but they're not at this. You have more? Okay, we have tables available for those that would like to vent. Okay, and if you want to see a vent, you can see Cohen Shape Me Out, who's right behind me. Once we have done the closing exercises, please leave out the building ASAP. We have to get prepared for tomorrow and also for tonight's party. So we appreciate you. Just one more time. Toda. It's 3315 where the party's going to be at. It's going to be at our cultural center. The address is 3315 Lake Road in Charlotte, North Carolina, 28269. If you need an itinerary, call and Sheikh Mian has that. We also have raffle tickets for sale, so you'll see many